Setting up. There I am. Right. Okay, bear with me again a second. Right. We are live. So I think we're the only people at the moment though, Jolie. So
Oh, well, when two or more are gathered.
yes. We're still early anyway. We're still not even at our normal start time. Our normal start time should be 10 till the hour, and it is 48. So yeah, we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Sunday show though. I mean, it's interesting because we've never used David Icke's work before, right?
Yes, I know.
Um, and it was interesting because I coincidentally saw him on an interview with Emilio Ortiz just 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. And it was a really interesting interview. I mean, it's a very long interview, again, typically as these things tend to be. But it seems as though David's stepping more into the foreground now. But what I love about what the pieces that we're working with for that is that they are so filled with information, and it is so, boom, 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 boom. It's just like
Absolutely.
powerful points. And we've got Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. We've got
Welcome,
Laurie
Jennifer.
from Portland.
Welcome. Thanks for
And
joining.
we've got Joy from Yorkshire. Yay, Joy.
Joy. Hello. But
And Donna.
John, what's so interesting about David Icke is the backstory that you told me about him. As an American, I was introduced to David Icke through his work with reptilians and all of the exposure, about
Yeah,
what's happening. But
yeah,
you know him quite differently way before this.
this is very true. And yeah, so for the first time, we will be featuring the work of David Icke on Sunday. And it's the bit of work we have is really an amazing piece of work, and I'm delighted that we are working around this. But to Jole's point, I know David Icke when I used to watch sports in 1970s and the 1980s because he was a sports commentator. And he was a very good sports commentator and used to work mainly on the BBC. And he was, well admired and liked and all the rest of it. And then, of course, he went crazy. He started talking about aliens and spaceships and reptilians and all that kind of nonsense. And everybody thought he has just lost it entirely. He has sacrificed this fantastic career on television as a well-known personality in order to start talking about all this lunatic kind of stuff. And of course, at that time, that was kind of what the way it seemed because nobody else was talking about this, or not many were talking about this. Of course, Dolores was already putting her work out there, and a few other pioneers, if you like, in that field. But of course, David, to his eternal credit, has always done so fearlessly. And it was interesting on his interview that he did with Emilio. He was saying that he doesn't worry about the ridicule. He says that there can be very few people on this planet who've been ridiculed as much as he has for saying what he says. And he says he doesn't worry about it. He doesn't. You rise above it. When you get to that point where you don't mind what people think about you, because all your integrity, it's all about you, right? It's all
Mhm.
about speaking your truth, and that's all he's ever done. Is he's spoken his truth. But now the world is catching up with him.
Yes, finally. It's been I got onto David Icke like 1998, 99 with his books. Kathy O'Brien was another one that I read. Wow, there's quite a few books out there that really will open the door to you understanding why things are the way they are and how to then move into the light to turn things right side up for you, which then reverberates into the environment, which is why we're here, John, right? To help
Absolutely.
us on this path.
Yeah. And it is interesting, isn't it? Because David is very much into, whilst he'll talk about, the reptilian control and the Illuminati types and all this kind of thing, who've been pulling the strings of humanity for thousands of years, perpetrating, wars and various other things. But the fact is, he'll also be there on the forefront saying just how powerful group meditation is and
Yes,
visualizations and imagination.
very much so.
Yeah, and that's basically what you're doing for us with with all the Sunday meditations and everything. But it just underlines how powerful this stuff really is.
Yes, and it's absolutely a tool of healing. It's how you heal, one of the foundations. I mean, we know sunlight, is a great healer. And that's why there's this new thing going around in the medical community where they're telling people, stay out of the sun, stay out of the sun, stay out of the sun. If you get a scar, stay out of the sun, stay out of the sun. I know it to be the opposite when I was coming up. Go into the sun if you want to heal. Is
Yeah,
there something going on with our sun?
yeah. And this is funny, isn't it? Because also all this, and again, it's not to say people to tell people not to use sun screen and stuff like that. But I think it's one of those things that if you put in that blocker on your skin as well, you're also not absorbing a lot of
Correct.
the energies that are there for us.
Correct. So upside down again.
Mm. It's amazing, isn't it? And like your fluoride in your toothpaste and your fluoride in your
Yeah.
water supply and all this kind of thing.
And what it does to the pineal gland. And then you get a hold of this information, which is in medical journals, and you're like, really? They're doing this?
Mm.
And the normalcy bias starts
Yeah,
to kick
yeah,
in,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you continue to buy this toothpaste and drink this and use this water to cook with. It's just what we do. So we got to wake up.
We do. And Joanne was asking which David we were speaking of because she joined late, which is fine, by the way, because anyway, time up to 7 o'clock when we actually kick this thing off proper. But it's David Icke is his name. I don't know whether you're familiar with him, Joanne. He's always been a bit of a fringe character in the past, regarded as a bit of a from the early days, like as a lunatic almost. Is that it was the kind of the way he was looked at it back here in the UK. But he also has an awful lot of followers for very good reason now, because, as I say, his truth is now becoming a lot of other people's truths. And
Correct.
yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. So we're very well represented today in terms of we've got the UK, a couple of people from the UK. We've got Portland, Oregon. I love Portland, Oregon. That's one of my favorite. It always used to remind me of my home
Beautiful.
city. Home city over here in Yorkshire. And Yorkshire is also where Joy Castleman is. And then we've got Phoenix for Donna and British Columbia for
Oh,
Joanne.
nice. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for joining us.
Mm, yeah. Yes, yes, it is. It's David Icke, Joanne, and I think on Sunday when we put that program out, people are going to love it because it's just telling us it as it is, and it's empowering us to again take back our control and take back our power, step into
That's
it, and
right.
then collective consciousness. It's so enormously powerful, and that's why we're here today. It's just getting into that quantum wave structure and elevating it. So, if we end up with, say if we end up with what we've got at the moment between you and me as well, Jolie, we've got 10 of us. So there you go, value of 100 straight away on a squared
Yeah,
basis. So that is where it gets super powerful. So yeah, it's just something that we just got to keep doing because, and again, thanks to Pam that, people around the world are doing this on a daily basis. But I know Sunday is still her main day for that. And certainly I'll be trying to get on and do it myself and just play the video that we have, right? On the, and anybody in anytime you want to see that video, you go onto Elevated Planet channel and you will find that and you can go for the 22 minutes, 22 seconds one that we're actually playing today, which can go on as long as you like because you don't have to stop when the video stops or the 15-minute one. But again, both of them with Joe Lay leading into that for 5 minutes just to set the scene in a consistent fashion. And I think that's the power of it. because I love the fact that Pam sets it up in a way that you can just do it freestyle. But the fact that getting everybody in on the same wavelength in the structure of that, I think is really a beautiful thing, because it means that when we bring that community consciousness together, that collective consciousness together, we're all on that same wavelength. But then we go off on our individuated journeys into our own world of beauty and sending the message across to the areas that most need it.
Yes,
And as ever, as Pam would always tell us, focus on the energies we want them to receive rather than the energies they may be going through right now. Peace, love, joy, happiness, love, laughter, celebration of life. They may be a long way from it at the moment, but if they're getting a bolt of that energy going across, surrounding them, then, it's a beautiful thing. So,
I agree.
mm. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think we are about at that point now, because we're always a few seconds ahead of you on the Zoom call. So I think that by the time I get this up and running, we will be good to go. So I'm gonna switch our videos off now, and we are just going to be there with you out in the quantum wave structure, elevating it all for the planet. So here we go. Oh, and just as a final note as well, once the video ends, the show ends effectively at that point. So you can just so people are not distracted at the end as well. Here we go.
Put your feet flat on the floor and your palms face up on your thighs. Bring your awareness to the center of your head and visualize a beautiful golden portal between the center of your head and the center of your heart. Inhale for a count of 5. Pause and exhale gently for a count of 5. Inhale for a count of 5. Pause and exhale gently for a count of 5. And visualize the center of your head and the center of your heart communicating, creating coherence with one another. And as you breathe, bring your awareness down into your heart. And from this heart-centered space, I want you to visualize your heart opening like the lens of a camera and creating a vortex that is giving and receiving divine love. And from this place of sharing and receiving, visualize like-minded people coming together, joining hands for unspeakable beauty all across the earth, understanding the importance of the interconnectedness. Say to yourself, we are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love. Say to your fellow man, we are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love. And say to Mother Earth and the universe, we are welcoming in an expanded consciousness of love. And gently touch your heart center and feel this love pulsating through you and all around you as you set a clear intention for your most loving and highest good. What does that look like? What does your most loving and highest good feel like? And allow for this love to expand out to your fellow man. This wonderful tsunami of love and this web of light encompassing you and mankind. And now, see clearly the most loving and highest good for Mother Earth and the universe. And see Mother Earth encompassed in this web of light and love. Because now we're going to go on a journey to our favorite place, a place where all of the people and the animals and Mother Earth are connected to all of creation. And this place, your favorite place, is filled with love, joy, peace, gratitude, and compassion. So go on this journey of bliss. And when you return, bring all that love and peace and joy back with you.